Those who play in this sandbox are those who fear not the reality of riding a rocket ship down a bowling alley. But fortunately for these pin splitters, these lanes have far more shut down. Up next, it's League Night for the quickest and fastest among the fast. Welcome once again to the Florida Panhandle, North Florida Motorplex, where we continue our coverage of the 2023 MRA Championship Series. Today, bringing you the modified paddle class and the open cut tire class. And when we talk about the open class, we talk about names like Billy Fling, your 2021 open cut and paddle tire champion, and the defending open cut and paddle tire champion, Kevin Harrison from Grenada, Mississippi. He is back here as well, along with Steve Renaud, driving frantic out of Hornpain, Ontario, the Canadian, making a big change in the power plant department. We'll tell you about that as things progress. We also, as I said, are going to be bringing you the modified class, and we're talking about massive cubic inches and nitrous injection, and some of the biggest storylines rolling into this weekend are in that modified class, actually overlapping with the open class. And one of those stories is the Racing in the Dirt shop out of Cleveland, Wisconsin, having 7 different vehicles here over 3 classes. They have 1 in the OPS class, they have 3 in the open class, and they have 3 in this modified class, and that includes the debut of 2 brand new Racing in the Dirt chassis. One being driven by Joel Coolidge out of Two Harbors, Minnesota, the debut of Kryptonite, and George Farms. We saw that they added last time out in our OPS coverage, they added another vehicle to their OPS fleet. They also have a brand new rail in the modified division with a massive Pat Musey power plant in the back. Again, we will keep you updated on how these teams progress throughout the year, but these are going to be the first couple hits on these new vehicles. We'll see how they do. Another story with the Racing in the Dirt shop is that the 5-time championship car Deranged has been sold. Who was it sold to? None other than Racing in the Dirt customer Greg Martinez out of Las Vegas, New Mexico. Deranged is now the new Scream ride for Martinez. We will see how he does here tonight. Again, first hits for that driver. We'll see how quickly he can mesh with his new ride. A lot of action coming your way here tonight. Stay with us. We're going to finish up a quick track groom, add a little water to the sand, and we will be back to North Florida.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army, the place to get your motorsports fix.
Semi-state soil will fly. The 2023 MRA Championship comes roaring into the Upper Merrimack Dirt Tracks. Pro Stocks Outlaws, Super Stocks Modifieds, and the Ultra Quick Blown and Injected class hit the track June 16th at 7 p.m. and June 17th at 3 p.m. Kivy Brothers Trucking, Speed Tech, Alki Diggers, Seminole Paving, and Racing in the Dirt are bringing the ultimate dirt slingers to Booker Farms, 1295 Highway M, Cook Station, Missouri.
The world-famous C60 Cyclops, the infamous Dodge Carryall, unnamed and untamed. Get yourself a one-of-a-kind toy of a Mudbogger Trim Monster Truck at freedomracingnt.com.
Welcome back to North Florida Motorplex as we get ready to start things off tonight with the modified paddle class. Vehicle that we have not seen before, Gene Cruz, the president of Second Rate Racing. Richmond, Kentucky, this is Bad Intentions. 800 plus cubic inch Billy Albert power plant. Chassis built by Joe Wizard Curtis, sponsored by Cruz Excavating. He's going to lay down the shot here. Machine made a hard right out of the hole, but he got it back under control on 262 with a 7. Not bad at all, considering he had to regain control. Look at him sawing at that steering wheel, trying to get this thing back to the left as he avoids the center markers on the track. A good run for him. Now a brand new machine. I mentioned at the top of the show, Joel Coolidge out of Two Harbors, Minnesota, part of the father and son Coolidge team. Here you see Tyler helping him getting tight and tuned on the starting line as he purchased the nitrous. This is Kryptonite. 612 cubic inch Keith Black Oldsmobile with 3 kits of nitrous. 2023 racing in the dirt chassis built up in Wisconsin. And he made a left out of the hole. A good time though. He'll go to the number 1 spot at 250 with a 3 for Joel Coolidge. These guys trying to learn how to get a hold of this sand right now, and the first hit on a brand new vehicle. It's always a tough spot to be in. In fact, Tyler was supposed to drive that machine, and he didn't quite fit in the cockpit, so Joel jumped in there. Tyler will be driving the open class vehicle later as the Keystone Killer rolls out. That's Keith Mitchell and the Magician lined up against a guy we're glad to see back, Richard Donovan, out of Halifax, Virginia. The 87 CJ7 called Tiger with a 454 cubic inch AMC power plant, which, no surprise, has Barry Allen's signature on it. The truck has been rebuilt multiple times, including the end of 2021, and it just gets faster and faster. He lines up against Keith Mitchell and the Magician out of Fredonia, Pennsylvania, with a 960 cubic inch Sonny's power plant on board, so you know he's in the horsepower. Runs 4 kits of nitrous on this thing, but he usually only uses 2. This is a guy who's always working on this machine, trying to perfect it. Little hop and just off the starting line, Donovan a 291. Mitchell runs a 245 with a 4. So he will go to the number 1 spot for the moment. You can see him hop just a bit coming off the line there. This is some deep sand out here. It's very soft. And it's still got a lot of bite, though, all the way down. So what's happening is these things are grabbing and letting go. It's causing a little buffeting. They're coming off the starting line as a second-generation driver rolls in. That's Caleb Dunsavage out of Gladeville, Tennessee, and Color Me Gone. Chassis he built with his father, Ron, who's a legend in this sport. 762 cubic inch Chevrolet. Lining up next to Mark Tillery. Mark out of Honoraville, Alabama, driving the Bullet Racing chassis built playing Dirty 2. 405 cubic inch small block Mopar power plant with 2 kits of nitrous in that one. Solid pair of runs, a 265 for Tillery and a 23 for Dunsavage. He'll blast into the number 1 position with a 236. He was super fast at the end of last year, and I have a feeling it's going to come down to himself and Mitchell, at least early on in this competition, as Keith definitely is looking for a racing championship for the end of the year. Here was the big story coming into this weekend. Greg Martinez, who drove a Bronco in the OPS and modified cuts class last year, now having purchased the old deranged machine, running exclusively in the modified class. He red lights on that first pass. Unfortunately, still trying to get a handle on that machine. Not what he was hoping for, as the Racing in the Dirt crew stays on the starting line. Justin George, another multi-generation team. Shoot to Thrill, brand new Racing in the Dirt chassis. Again, out of that Cleveland, Wisconsin shop. In fact, you see Shane O'Rogie standing there on the line. It looks like we have a nitrous leak right now. They're trying to get that figured out, as the nitrous will not stop pumping out of the bottle, and they've got to get that shut off. They're going to go ahead and probably kill the power plant here in just a moment to make sure they don't light that thing up. But okay, they shut him down right there. They're going to go ahead and find that leak. We're going to take another look at the run we just saw from Greg Martinez, and you can see he's just trying to get a handle on this car. You can see the ruts as he comes out, maybe about 10 feet off the starting line. There's some ruts. You either have to choose to straddle those ruts or run in them, and he kind of ran in them, and that may have affected him a bit. Here comes Justin George now with no nitrous. That was a raw power pass. A 2.87 with a 7 is not bad, considering that he did not have the power adder he was hoping to off the starting line, but that will set the pace right now in our modified division. Caleb Dunsavage leading the charge at a 2.36. Keith Mitchell at second at a 2.45. I said those guys were going to be battling, and it's already starting here. Joel Coolidge, first hit on that new machine, not bad, a 2.50 with a 3. Gene Cruz and Mark Tillery rounding out the top 5. The 2.65 lands him in the number 5 spot, just above Justin George in Shoot to Thrill at a 2.87. Stay with us, the open class hits the track when we come back to North Florida.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventure. For the Silver Lake Sand Dragway, there really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out of.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter.
Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo.
Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
I know they are.
Welcome back to Panama City, Florida, the North Florida Motorplex, as we are underway now with our open class. While we were away, Billy Fling came up to stage. You can see him being towed off by his brother right now, Steve. Here is what happened, and it had nothing to do with the car itself. He staged twice, and the tree did not operate properly. Got pre-staged, then staged, and it didn't fall to green. He brought it up on the stall twice, put quite a strain on that engine. And the crowd was not so kind to him. I don't think they were aware. Keep in mind, this facility took a direct lightning strike about a week ago, and they've been working to try to get their light timing system back to 100%. It is working correctly now, and we are ready to go back at it with the open class. Fling, by the way, will come back later and make another run. Right now, though, Jeremy Hood in Freebird out of Grenada, Mississippi, teammate to Kevin Harrison, who is the defending champion in the Open Cuts division, the Kelly Odell Open Cuts class coming into this season. He's going to line up side by side with Jim Ingram in Bad Trouble 3 out of Simonton, Texas. Screw-blown 500 cubic inch Hemi in that one, alongside the only turbocharged machine in the division, a 572 big block Chevrolet in the back of that one. Hood ready to test the mettle of this machine. He took a wild ride at the end of last year. Let's see what he's got here against Jim Ingram. Ingram picking up the front end at 241 with a 3. An awesome ride for Bad Trouble 3, and big problems for Jeremy Hood in the Eric Bidlack chassis Freebird. And it looks like things came apart on him again. There is so much power in this machine. He's trying to find all these weak spots, and every time he finds one, he finds another. And just slowly bulletproofing that machine. Ingram looked awesome there as you see him ride the back tires on down the track, and Hood has blown a transmission. So unfortunately, that is going to hamper his efforts here this evening as they pulled him off the end of the track. They take a look as Scott Starsky rolls out now in the Ford-powered Paperboy Express out of Libertyville, Illinois. The Illini, the fastest Paperboy in the business. He is going to line up side by side with Mark Riggin in another Bad Habit out of Lockhart, Texas. Another Texan in the field. It's good to see these guys coming out in force this year. Two fast red machines on the starting line. Starsky and his co-driver Paul Wessinger, also out of Illinois. One of the only Ford-powered machines in the field, a 540 cubic inch Ford Boss engine with a 3-disc slipper clutch and a 1-speed transmission. This thing is wound super tight. Cameras didn't know which way to go as Riggin took a wild ride. A 285 with a 1. Snarsky goes to the number 1 spot with a 226. So Scott Snarsky is looking good right now in Paperboy Express, and you can see the cloud of fuel vapor. That thing is drinking some alcohol here tonight. Up next, the guy who came the longest to get here, 23 hours for Steve Renaud out of Hornpain, Ontario. For this year, he switched from that 481X power plant that he ran last year to a Hemi. Same cubic inches, same blower, but a very different power plant. He lines up alongside Kevin Harrison out of Grenada, Mississippi, and Never Enough, the defending champ, who right now is stuck behind the starting line. He cannot get that car to move forward. His whole crew down there right now trying to get the car to move forward. He's stuck in a reverse gear. Now he gets it pulling forward. That could have been disastrous if he could not have made it to the starting line to defend his 2022 Kelly O'Dell Open Cuts Championship. This should be a super fast pairing right here. Ultra quick. Look how close. Harrison a 228. Renaud a 229, 1/100th of a second difference between those two. Nice straight pair of runs by both of those guys as they now sit just behind Scott Snarsky. 127 miles an hour for Kevin Harrison as Billy Fling comes back to the line.
He lay down a brand new record.
2.42 with a 7. Not what he was looking for, but not a bad ride considering he put 2 extra hits on this car on the starting line. Luckily, he didn't pull off and have any problems there, but he's going to go back and retune it. Hopefully find something he was missing right there, because I know he's not going to be happy with that run right now. Certainly not sitting down there in 5th place, but you can see how competitive this fleet is. 3 2-2s right off the 1, 2, and 3 spots at the top. 4th and 5th with a pair of 2-4s. So it's Scott Snarsky, Kevin Harrison, Steve Renaud, then Jim Ingram and Billy Fling rounding out the top 5 right now in the open class. They're going to re-rack these guys as Scott Snarsky continues to lead, and we'll be back with more from North Florida. Welcome back to Panama City, Florida, the North Florida Motorplex, ready for Session 2 in our modified class. Caleb Dunsavage leading the charge at a 2.36. Right now as Justin George comes back to the line in Shoot to Thrill, ran a 2.87 in session number 1. Still looking for a little more out of that machine as he was on and off the power, but he runs a 2.49 with a 1. That will put him up in the top 3 for the moment right now, just behind Keith Mitchell, who ran a 2.45 with a 4 in the first session. As Greg Martinez's Scream comes back to the line. He red lit in the first session, trying to make up for that run here. Looking more to form there with a 2.35 with an 8. The Orogi family doing him a big favor here tonight, as Scream will now move into the number 1 spot. He has just eclipsed Caleb Dunsavage, who ran the 2.36 in session 1, and he did it by very, very little. As Mark Tillery rolls in the Mopar-powered Plan Dirty 2 Dodge Dakota. Usually runs a Dodge Dakota body on that thing. He had one when he rolled in. Now it's all roll cage right now, as Caleb Dunsavage, who ran that 2.36 in session 1, looks to jump back over the Orogis and Greg Martinez. Let's see if he can do it. Car's certainly capable of it. Saw his father and his brother with him there on the line. Thing made a hard move to the right, but how about a 2.30 for Caleb Dunsavage? 2.30 with a 1. Tillery ran a 2.66 with a 3 in that one, but you saw the move that Dunsavage made right off the line, stayed in the throttle. It took guts to keep that thing going down the track at that speed now, as Keith Mitchell tries to jump to the number 1 spot in Mudjish in the machine. The driver certainly capable of it with all the motor he's got behind him. See if he can get the car to hook up the way he wants it to. Walking around a little bit off the starting line there. 2.36 with an 8. He was close, but not close enough. So he will fall 1/100th of a second short of second place and 600ths of a second short of first place, and I think that little bobble coming off the starting line is almost imperceptible. But if you watch, the car was kind of rocking back and forth there as Kryptonite Joel Coolidge rolls out to stage for his second hit ever on this brand new machine. And that is a run he would definitely like back. 3.48 with a 4 with problems apparent off the starting line, and he will end up in the number 5 spot from his session 1 time. But you can see a very competitive field. 3 2.3s right off the top. Dunsavage, Martinez, and Keith Mitchell leading the charge and the points out of this weekend in the modified paddle class. Justin George with a 2.49. Joel Coolidge with a 2.50. Both of those times I think we'll see improved on the 200-foot track as the season goes on. As we're back on the line now with the blower motors, the Open Cuts, the Kelly Odell Open Cuts. Steve Renaud out of Horn Paint, Ontario in Frantic, going side by side with the defending 2022 champion Kevin Harrison, who once again is having trouble getting to the starting line. That's something they're going to have to look into. He keeps getting stuck in reverse just behind the line. Hopefully he doesn't have a transmission problem. It's going to jump up and bite him here this weekend. How about a 2.26 with a 1 and a 2.26 with a 3? Those guys are consistent and they are close. We are in for a very competitive 2023. Not only in this class, but in every class, but right there just showed you something. Those guys were right on each other. Harrison went 127 miles an hour in session 1, and he just bettered his own time at we didn't get a mile per hour off of that one. We were looking for it there on the chart. Scott Snarsky and Mark Riggin now back on the line. Riggin trying to rebound from a wild ride in session 1. Snarsky trying to jump back to the number 1 spot. He sits right now behind Steve Renaud. 101 miles an hour. And the cheers you just heard in the background, that was his wife, Diana Snarsky, over here shooting photos as usual. She is very excited to see that machine make it down the track that fast. This is a good start for what looks to be a good season on the Open Class Championship in the Kelly O'Dell Cuts.
221, but she's small oil.
Worked that thing for all it had left in it as Tyler Coolidge now rolls out. The guy who scratched his Session 1 pass. They have had a rough weekend here with Nightmare 6 trying to debut a new modified machine and now struggling with a spare motor in the Nightmare machine. He's back on the line now with Billy Fling and Reality Check, your 2021 Open Class champion. And Coolidge's weekend continues to get worse. 228 though for Fling, not bad, but you can see Coolidge very disappointed there on the starting line as he will go back to the pits and try to get that thing ready for the paddle tire division. Scott Snarsky going to take the points lead and the first win out of Panama City, Florida for the 2023 season. And you can see it's 2 2s all the way down to 4th. Jim Ingram running a 2-4, and that was a good 2-4. That vehicle has a lot more in it. We do know that. In 200 feet, and I believe we're going to see records shattered in 2023. We are not even close to done from here in Panama City, Florida. Congratulations to our champion. We have more action coming to you from Saturday night. Next time with the Pro Stocks and the Super Stocks. We will see you then.